Well, hi everyone. Hi Real Life. My name is Lauren, and I'm a member here at Real Life. I've been here for about 3 years. In January, it will have been 3 years. And when Pastor Jim asked me to share my faith story with you, I thought absolutely I would be more than happy to. It's an experience that I certainly never expected to happen to me. And I sure hope that this is something that you will be able to be encouraged from and to learn something more about the power of healing prayer from. And so I'll go ahead and begin my story with you. I should go ahead and tell you this, like I said, this is something I never expected to happen to me. My background basically is I am very much a skeptical person, and that has always kind of woven its way into my faith, and I really work really hard at working through kind of the crevices of my own doubts and the things that I struggle with, and healing prayer certainly is one of them. In fact, I can honestly say when Pastor Jim kind of went on this healing prayer kick about 1.5 years ago, I sort of tuned out a little bit. I won't lie. I sort of tuned out a little bit, and it kind of just like hit a nerve that I just wasn't so sure about. I have my own reasons for it. I've just been kind of skeptical of those types of things and experiences I had growing up in the church on my own. And I certainly believe in the power of healing prayer and in miracles. I know people that have been healed because of healing prayer, and I know scientific proof that proves it. It's there. I've read books on it, and I believe that we are. It's a miracle that we're here, and it's just when it comes to healing prayer and people actually being physically healed because of prayer right there on the spot, it's hard for me to grasp that. I've even seen Pastor Jim do it right in front of my eyes, and I still struggle with it. So it comes as not a lot of surprise that God kind of put it upon me to go through the experience that I went through back on October 11th. My story goes back to the beginning of March, right around March 1st. I was at the gym, and I was lifting about 125 pounds worth of weight over my head on a barbell over my head with 2 hands. And that's a lot of weight to put over your head, and my job was to slowly lower it down onto right here, the muscles on the back of my neck, to go into a squat. And it turned out it was too much weight for me, and it completely slipped. I dropped it, and it landed square on the second vertebrae in my neck. It was basically a metal bar with weight on it, and it just landed square on my bone. Needless to say, that was probably the most excruciating pain I've ever been through in my life. I've gone through 2 C-sections and childbirth, and this one was so raw and difficult to bear because it was unexpected. I ended up pretty much just keeling over, and the pain, you could feel it just go straight down my spine, back up, and all the way through to the right side of my body. And I had to just kind of stand there for about a half an hour before I could even get up and walk to my car. I went home, and I started trying to walk it off, which was the best thing I could do. You'll start to learn as I tell my story that I am a very cynical person, and I'm just going to be upfront and very honest with you with kind of who I am, because a lot of my story has to do with what's in my heart and my emotions and things like that. But because I am kind of cynical and I am very stubborn, I decided to go ahead and just ice it, wrap a couple bags of ice around my back, and take a Motrin 800, and I went to work like that for a week and a half. So I just waited it out. I toughed it out. The pain went away after about a week and a half. And up until October 10th, the pain was completely gone. But it was a horrible pain. I couldn't turn my head, couldn't raise my arms. I could do barely anything. October 10th rolls around, and it just was the perfect storm. I am a teacher, so I had been teaching online up to October 10th. I had been teaching online for almost 2 months, hunched over a computer with my head down. And if any of you have had to be in any kind of a Zoom meeting or working online, you know what it does to your neck and your back. And just out of nowhere, October 10th, it literally just hit me like a load of bricks. I woke up in the morning, that Saturday morning. I couldn't even turn my head. I couldn't move. I could do nothing other than basically lay there in bed and have my children bring me Takis and Diet Dr. Pepper the whole day. And that's what I did. I sat there and I felt miserable for myself. And I started getting more and more frustrated at my situation. I had classes to get ready for to teach on Monday morning. My in-laws are coming to our house that week, and my house looks like an episode of Hoarders. And I've got, the puppy is new and he's just thrashing everything. And I've got my husband has to record his lectures for work. And it was the perfect storm. Already upset and down about my job because who knows what's going to happen to elementary school teachers, and everything kind of hit all at one point. So it was not the best time for me to be stuck in bed. And I decided that I was going to wallow in my misery the whole day, and I did. And by the way, lying in bed with your neck and laying on a pillow watching TV is not the best thing to do if you have a neck problem, I shortly thereafter learned. I went to bed that night, woke up the next morning, which would have been Sunday morning, and it was even worse. Couldn't even get out of bed, couldn't walk, couldn't do anything. I had no idea where this was even coming from. It was just out of nowhere, and I woke up that morning feeling really defeated, and I refused to watch church. I refused to pray. I was just mad at God. I was taking it out on God because it was just the timing was just impeccable. I couldn't believe it. It was just coming out of nowhere. I thought, like, God, why are you letting this happen? I am serving you. I'm a teacher. I'm here. I'm trying to serve my family. I just need, I need to be healthy right now. Can you just, throw me a bone here and help me out a little bit? And nothing happened. I just got more and more upset. Kids kept bringing me Talkies and Diet Dr. Pepper that day. And I decided it would be a great day. For some reason, I just said, you know what? I'm going to watch Little House on the Prairie today. So I went ahead, and I'd been reading the books to our kids, and I turned on Amazon Prime, and I decided to watch Little House on the Prairie reruns. And made matters worse because lo and behold, guess what came on? An episode called The Miracle Healer, which was about this fake pastor and his fake sick people who go from town to town back in the olden days. And they basically take the people's money, their offering. They take the money and they do miracle healing, and everyone believes that the children were healed, and it turns out that they were a fraud, a huge fake. And I was the perfect storm, and I saw this, and I started getting very upset. It just stirred these questions in my heart, like, God, why would you even let one person be healed? If not everyone can be healed, why would one person be able to be healed? Because this is what happens. People get taken advantage of. And I began to get very cynical, and my pride started welling up, and I just started getting just upset and angry. And you'll find a little bit more about where this is coming from in just a minute once I lead through the story of the events that came out of it that evening. It was exactly 5:47 when I ended that episode of Little House on the Prairie, and the kids were watching it with me, and of course I'm telling them, oh, you guys, you got to really watch out, the wolf in sheep's clothing, and went through the whole story with them. And they left the room, and I sat there, and I really truly started getting upset about the whole entire thing. And in that exact moment, I can even show you on my phone, in that exact moment, I got a text message from our small group leader, Anthony Prince, because we're in their small group with Anthony and Christine. A text message from him that said, just a reminder, if you want to come to the healing prayer crash course, it starts at 7 o'clock. I'll send you the link. Just let me know. And I thought in my head, you know what? What a great coincidence. I'm going to show up. And not only am I going to show up, but I'm going to be mean. I'm going to start poking holes. I'm going to ask questions, and I'm going to ask very difficult questions. And I won't lie, I even considered going like totally like undercover. I was going to wear like a hat and like a hoodie, and I was going to like change my name on the screen so that nobody would see me. And I'm thinking in my head, oh, there's only going to be, probably 5 or 6 really weird people at this thing anyways. So it's okay. No one will even know me. So I can go. And I even thought I'm going to break out my notes from my undergrad days at Point Loma, my theology stuff, and I'm going to go for it. I was so upset. I was just mad at the whole thing. Mind you, I can't even like turn my head to find anything. But so I said, you know what, Anthony, I'm going to be there. And in my heart, all the wrong reasons. I was going to go to this thing to just shred Pastor Jim's theology and Jared's, I was going to just go for it. So it would make me feel better. So I showed up at 7 o'clock, and right off the bat, I made my first mistake. I forgot to change my name. And so there's Lauren Morris sitting on the screen, and there I am. I forgot to turn off my video. So I'm wearing, I was wearing a baseball cap and like a thing. I actually was trying to like disguise myself. And right away, everybody started texting me, "Hi, Lauren, it's great to see you. We missed you." And I'm like, oh, darn it. I wanted to be, how I have to behave, and I have to stay because everybody here knows me. And oh, darn it. Okay. So I'm like, slide my notes over and I wave and, say hi back to everybody. And I knew right then and there that I would have to just at least hear it out. So I did. I sat and I listened, and I was trying to find everything I could find in the theology and in the scripture that Jared talked about. I couldn't find anything, which was my first. And this is the truth, honest. I was disappointed. I wanted to go in there. I wanted to feel better about it, and I wanted to be justified in how I was feeling. So that happened, and I just started getting, I just started getting more and more upset at the whole situation. Why can some people be healed and some people can't? It just kept going over and over in my head. There's, what more is there to it? And so as soon as Jared ended his talking and preaching and instruction, I thought, okay, great, this thing's over. I can get out of here. I'm done. Adios, right? Wrong. Right then and there, Jared said, okay. And mind you, by the way, when I said I thought there would be like 5 weird people in this meeting, no, there's like 60 of my closest real life friends who I know and love with all my heart, right? So now I'm really in trouble, and now I knew I had to behave. So all these people are in there. There's like 3 screens full of people on this Zoom meeting, and I'm ready to go. I'm done with this thing. I'm over it. I can't poke holes in the scripture, but I'm still going to be upset. I'm just going to be upset. I'm going to go eat some more Takis and drink Diet Dr. Pepper and be mad at the world. So before I'm literally ready to push exit meeting or end, Jared says, okay, we are going to practice some healing prayer right now at this time. And I want everyone to just stay here and listen to a word that I was given back on September 22nd, and he explained what that meant and what you do with that, and how something was kind of revealed to him about someone that was in pain or had needed some healing. So he said in front of everyone, he said, there's someone here in this meeting that a while ago, I think he said it was about 6 or 7 months ago. I can't remember if he did or not, but he said it was a while ago this year, who suffered some kind of an injury as a result of an impact to their neck, and some kind of an impact right here on their neck, and it has created a pain basically in their neck, in their upper neck and in the shoulder. And it's something that's just debilitating, and it's been persistent for the last few days or so. And okay, so now I'm just, you've got to be kidding me right now, right? And mind you, the first thing I did was not to think, oh, it's me, yay. The first thing I thought was, oh no, I have to find a way out of this because I think he's talking about me. And in my heart, I did not want it to be right because that's the kind of frustration that was in my heart at that point. And I did not raise my hand. I didn't say anything. I just sat there quiet. And I looked around, and I knew right away what was going on. I knew that it was me. I didn't say anything. I just waited. And Jared said it again. He said, okay, I'll just wait a little bit longer. And he said it again. And I cannot tell you what happened in that very moment, but all of a sudden, the weight of the sin and the bitterness and the anger that was in my heart, it just overcame me, and I felt so embarrassed because I knew that Jared was talking about me, and I knew I, in that moment, needed to humble myself before God, and at least, if nothing else, raise my hand and say that it was me. So I did. I raised my hand, and I said, oh, that's me. And Pastor Jim was so excited. He said, oh, Lauren, yay, it's you. And Jared said, oh, Lauren, hey, how are you doing? And I said, oh, well, not that great because, clearly that's me. I can't, my neck is killing me. I explained the situation to him. he went through and he said, okay, yes. And he asked me to tell about the pain. I said it was at like an 8, almost a 9. I could turn my head maybe that far. It was about as far as I could go. I couldn't look down. Could not look down. That was the key. And I told him, if you want to try, go for it. Go for it. And in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, right. This is going to be the most embarrassing moment of my life. I was literally thinking, God is probably trying to punish me right now for my unbelief. And here we go. I'm going to be embarrassed. So he said, okay, Lauren, can I pray for you? And I said, sure, go ahead, Jared. So everyone in the meeting bowed their heads and everyone started praying. I was so stubborn and so just, I don't know what the word is. I wouldn't even take off my hat to pray. It was that much coldness in my heart at that moment, even though I'm embarrassed. And so Jared prayed very specifically. I can't remember exactly the points that he made, but they were so specific, just drawing on the grace of Christ, his death on the cross, and how he overcame sin and death for us. And I was so nervous. I barely listened. All I know is that when the prayer was over, I wasn't paying attention, but when the prayer was over, my head was completely bowed, and I was looking straight down at the ground, which I hadn't been able to do when that meeting started. I had been trying for 2 days. I couldn't do it, and I was. At that moment, I was looking straight at the ground, and my shoulder, my arm, my whole neck and my shoulder right here just got really warm. And the truth of the matter is that I was literally, again, I was still trying to outthink it. I couldn't wrap my head around this. I was trying to outthink. Oh, I'm just nervous. I'm just this. And there's no way. I put my head up. I could not feel anything. I could not feel pain. There was nothing there. I looked from side to side. Nothing. There was no pain there at all. And I can't explain what happened. I don't know what happened. All I know is that first of all, I know I looked like a fool, and I'd been acting like a fool and thinking very, just horrible thoughts about God. But the fact of the matter was that in God's grace and his mercy, he had picked me out of a situation and a point in my life and met me in probably my lowest place of faith in my entire life. And he had picked me there and put me there to heal me in a way that was very tangible and very real. And the amount of humility and I don't know what word to say, but just how he just showed his grace and love to me in that moment is I can't put words to it. I've obviously learned a lot from what he did for me there. I have to, though, address what I learned more than anything from that prayer meeting that night, and that's this. Like I said, there were about 60 people in that meeting, and more people showed up because the night went on and more people showed up for healing to be prayed for. And I was so overwhelmed. I didn't even know what to do. I told my husband, he's walking past, and I said, Josh, you will not believe what just happened. I'm like, look, I can turn my head. And he's like, oh, that's great. I'm like, no, it's amazing. What are you talking about? I couldn't figure out what to do. And lo and behold, Pastor Jim decides to ask me to pray for someone in the meeting for their healing. And here I am with this frustration and this unbelief in my heart. And now I am in this prayer meeting praying for someone else to be healed. I was like, oh, what happened here? It was completely opposite of what I was expecting. And so I did. I tried to copy Jared's prayer verbatim, and I did my best. I'm shaking. Finally, I took my hair, did my hair, and took my hat off and did everything I should have done the first time. And I prayed for our friend to be healed, for her hands to be healed. And she was not healed. She was not healed. In fact, there were many people in that meeting who were prayed for and came for prayer and were not healed. And I am not joking you. I have never seen anything like this. And if you're watching this, I encourage you to attend one of these meetings so you can see this. These people that were not healed will affect me probably for the rest of my life. Even right now, I think about it. They were so thankful for the opportunity just to be there and to have that community and to have people there with them praying for them. And when they weren't healed, they said, the Lord still has a good work to do in me and through me with this. And they did not complain. They didn't waver in their faith. In fact, the part that blew me away was that when other people were healed, the people that weren't, they rejoiced for them and they praised God for the others that were healed. And they told each other, we'll continue to pray for you and we'll continue to have faith that God will do a work no matter what happens. God's good work will be done through their ailment. And that put me in my place more than anything. Just, seeing that, I think of them every day. I remember that I wrote their names down. I have them. I think of them every day. It's a lesson in faith that I never thought I would ever learn, but God picked me again. He picked me to be in that moment. And I think because I was and still kind of am in a very low place of faith in my life. But the lesson I learned, and I hope that you can learn too, is that healing prayer doesn't just mean physical healing. It also means healing in your faith also. And in your walk with the Lord, it really transcends more than just a physical ailment. And, even in my moments of unbelief, God still is able to use those. And it's the same with anyone that's listening too. It doesn't just have to, like I said, it doesn't just have to be physical healing. God can also use those struggles and disappointments to build your faith up in a way that is real for you that you can share with other people, just kind of like he did for me. So that is my story, and I'm always happy to talk to anybody about it. And I encourage you to try out one of the crash courses in healing prayer with Pastor Jim and Jared. And that's my story.